and throwing the towel is the moment you have to turn it up another level in your life. Even if you feel the most uncomfortable, life is not about being comfortable, it's about moving towards completion. I said life is not about being comfortable, it's about moving towards completion. Remember the reason you were brought here in the first place. Someone never gave up on you for you to be born. I know life may be, hard right now. I know life may be crazy right now. What about the next minute, the next second, the next hour that you have in this moment? As fast as you made the decision to quit, it's just as fast and it takes just as much time to keep going and pushing to the next level. At the end of the day, people are counting on you. They're counting on your leadership. You've come too far to give up now. I said you've come too far to give up now. So number one, remove yourself to improve yourself. Remove yourself from the drama, the negativity, the negative thoughts, the negative people, the negative emotions, and improve your surroundings. Stop hanging around people that make you feel comfortable. That's the work of the enemy. Start getting around the people who challenge you, challenge your mind, make you a better person, challenge your intellect so that you can succeed, because they don't want nothing from you. The only thing that they want is to see you win.
We living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing. Oh no. Had some obstacles I overcame. Oh yeah. You don't have to ever be the same. Oh Lord. Cause when we change the mind, we change the game. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch.
What is going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show. What's going on, everybody? I got my brother Scott still in the building, Mr. Nick Mingle, and we are here. Listen, let us know where you guys are chiming from. Let us know where you guys are chiming from all over the world. Let us give you guys a shout out wherever you guys are chiming from. Nick, God, what's good, fellas? What's happening?
What up? What up?
What's
What's
happening
good?
with y'all? What's going on? What's going on, man?
Man, we living. You know how it is. We making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey
sir.
man,
Yes,
blessed to
sir.
be here. Blessed to be here, man. I listen to my pastor all the time say God blesses us to put us in rooms we're not qualified to be in, and I feel like this may be one of them. You know what I mean? I'm just a
Amen.
humble young man, just living with a network like you guys that just push me forward every day.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Listen, man, tonight, everybody that is chiming in, wherever you guys are from, this is for you. All right. This is for you. We do this for you. We do this out of the kindness of our heart because we want to help you grow. We want to see you grow. We want to see you guys win out here on YouTube, wherever you listen on Facebook. If you guys are on LinkedIn, wherever you guys are at, listen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show. Just a few quick announcements and everything before we get the show on the road and get everything started. All right. Listen, your boy is nominated for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society's Man of the Year, all right, for 2022. So we're going to be doing a lot of good things with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Those who know about our story with Christian and things of that nature, and what we're doing is so amazing to be able to raise money for such an amazing cause. All right. Second thing is, listen, there is a link in the bio. There's a link. I'm sorry, there's a link in the comments. All right. Listen, we've got books, we've got gear, we've got shirts. Take a look after the show. Go ahead and check some things out. We got stuff that are to benefit cancer, some stuff to benefit Down syndrome, and also some stuff to benefit your life, your mindset, to help you grow to another level. All right. With that being said, fellas,
You.
we talking about operating in your gift.
Yes,
We talking
sir.
Right.
about operating in your gift, right?
Right.
And let me tell you something real quick. Tonight is so special because a couple of weeks ago, and actually a couple weeks ago, last week I was just in Minnesota,
Total, yeah.
right? I was in Minnesota. Nick, you was in Minnesota too for work,
Yes, I was.
and the only person I didn't get a chance to go to Minnesota was Guy. Right. So I'm in Minnesota. Let me tell you, I'm in my hotel room, and I was out there speaking for the Down Syndrome Association of Minnesota. It's a statewide event, super awesome. And it was a point in time where I was in my room where I'm like, God, can you show me right? Your will for me today. Show me your will for me this week. Show me, what is your will for me? Because oftentimes we do what? Like, God, I want to do this, or God, I want to do that. I want to do this and I want to do that. But does God want you to do it, right? Does he really want you there? Does he want you in this space? Does he want you with that girl, right? Ladies, does he want you with that man? Right? Does he want you there? Is that his will for you? We oftentimes make decisions based off of feeling and emotion instead of off of what God truly wants for us. And therefore, we oftentimes find ourselves not really operating in our gift, operating in the way that we're supposed to go, operating in this, and then we become what? Frustrated, right? We get depressed, we get worried. All these different things start to creep up in our lives. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Sometimes we question it. We question it because we're not where we want to be at yet. And I get constant reminders, y'all. I get these constant reminders on I am where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I know I'm supposed to be speaking. I know I'm supposed to be, giving to the people on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna give y'all something, and it hit me kind of heavy. And I didn't give y'all this pre-show because for a reason, because I wanted immediate, reactions, right? So I posted a video on YouTube a couple of days ago about, y'all know my saying, yesterday is gone, tomorrow worry about itself, and today is all we have. So I posted this video on here, and I'm sitting here and I am looking in the comments. Y'all know how we do. We look in the comments, see what people saying. And I see this comment from a young man, and he said, yo, if you didn't post this video today, then I was going to check out. And I'm like, whoa, right? So that right there just floored me, and I hit him back immediately because I'm like, yo, are you okay? And sometimes we don't really know what we're doing is actually helping somebody. Sometimes the job that we in, right? We may not feel like we like this job or not, but you're at that job for a reason. You're at that job, because there's somebody that actually needs you. Somebody else is going through something. So you may be operating in this job for this season, for this moment, for a reason. There's a reason why we are doing these videos. There's a reason why we're doing this podcast. There's a reason why we're doing this, because we don't know who needs it, right? We're not mind readers, but we know the word that's upon our life. Like, listen, I called y'all to go out and speak, so go do it, right? Kind of like Moses, like, well, God, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. I ain't asked you all that.
Right.
I just asked you to go do it. You know what I'm saying? So what is your reaction when you first hear like someone was about to check out, but there's a video, that we posted that saved their life essentially. You know what I'm saying? The floor is yours on that one.
I think what comes to mind is really discerning your purpose, right? Believing for sure that there is a purpose, believing for sure we're here for a reason and for, not our life, and God has put us here for others, someone else's life. When I hear something like that, and it's crazy, Kenny, we've had this conversation before, we've heard it, we've talked about this testimony, right?
Right.
And the fact that there's a humility in the fact that we need to put ourselves last and know that God has us here not just for ourselves but for other people, right?
Mm,
The discernment in the way of what is your purpose, right? I see Comida Aviles, Raquel says, make decisions off his word, right? But the fact
mm-hmm,
is that we look at his word, right? We read
mm-hmm.
his word, and sometimes we translate it to fit what we want it to fit.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And we move how we think, right? So basically, you need the spirit to speak to you, because we end up waiting. We in a waiting period, or waiting for God to speak to us, or the spirit to speak to us. We end up hearing our voice instead of God's voice,
Mm,
No,
mm,
right?
you're right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you like, you're me, you're like, well, maybe I should do this, and then something happens. You're like, oh my God, this is meant. I'm supposed to do it this way, but you ain't hear His voice yet.
mm, mm.
Right? I'm supposed to do it this way.
Okay.
This happened, right? So anyway, it just puts me in a space of humility, knowing my
Yeah.
life is I'm here. My purpose is for someone else, and then a discernment. Right? Those are two things that come just so that we are for sure, knowing that what we're doing is the Spirit speaking to us.
Amen. 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 Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
Nah, yeah. What I was gonna say was, I think that whole episode draws out the fact that you may not see the fruit of what you're doing right away, but
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it doesn't mean that what you're doing is not bearing fruit,
Go ahead.
you
Okay,
know?
okay, okay.
And I think a lot of times, it's like, this microwave society that we live in. The idea is that if I do something right now, I need to
Yeah.
see the immediate effects of it. I need to see the immediate results of it,
Result.
See, that's the
Right.
as
problem. Yeah, go
opposed
ahead, go
to
ahead. Yeah.
like, yo, you know what? I've been called to do something. I can feel, as Guy was talking about, I can feel the Holy Spirit calling me to do something. I can feel the Lord leading me in a certain way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what He called me to do, which is to sow the seed. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Let Him deal with the increase that's provided. And
Go
so
ahead.
mm,
here it is, you talking
mm.
about, yo, all you needed to do was post a video, and an
Right,
individual who was sitting here thinking about checking out of this world for whatever the reason may be, because it's not like
right.
you knew the person's personal story and you sat him down and you talked to him. Sometimes we
Yeah,
overcomplicate so many things. I mean, if you look at Jesus's life on earth, he simplified so much that we as humanity made so complicated.
Right.
right,
He simplified relationships, he simplified interactions, he simplified how we're supposed to engage with each other. I mean, his commandment, you know what I'm saying? Like we boil it down to, well, will God tell you to do this? Will God tell you to do that? And his simple commandment is, yo, love your neighbor as you would love yourself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
mm,
Straight,
right.
simple, plain. You know what I'm
Simple.
saying? That's it.
Right.
But we overcomplicate in
But
so
we
many
make it
different ways.
complicated.
So yeah, what we're trying to pour out right now is we're trying to pour out love for whoever may need it. We don't
Mm.
know, you know what I'm saying? If it's your mama, your auntie, your uncle, your daddy, your abuela, abuelo, we don't know
That's
who
right.
it
That's
is.
right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
Who's going to need it? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we're trying to put that positive energy out there. And yes, if that individual is the only individual that is blessed by whatever it is that we have going on, then guess what? I can go to sleep at night knowing
That's
that
right.
we've touched somebody's life in some way, shape, or form, you know. And guess what? If we're saving somebody from doing something like that in whatever capacity they need, then yo, we're walking in the path that God has called us to. So
Come on
Right.
now.
sometimes we got to realize that, yo, what we do doesn't always need to be on Instagram. It doesn't
Come
always
on.
need to be on Facebook. It
Right.
doesn't need to jump
Right.
out in everybody's face. All we got to do is just make sure that we're sowing the seed for the right reasons, and
Right.
God's going to do the rest.
He gonna
Yeah.
do the rest. It's
Yeah.
like
Let me
it's
say,
like.
let me say one more thing.
Go
I'm
ahead. Go
sorry,
ahead.
Vinny.
Go
You
ahead,
know,
guy.
when we often see people in distress, right? We naturally want to fix the problem. We naturally want to be fixers, right? But the fact of the matter is, Nick said it best. Our job is to plant the seed and allow God to do the rest. And
Mm,
so we have to understand we are not the answer, right? We don't have to answer the questions. We don't have to fix the problem. Our job is to provide an outlet or an avenue for God to work.
That's
right.
right.
Right. Right. It's like this, yo. Like when I was in my hotel room, I was stumbled upon, Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you, right? Okay. Then the question became, well, what's the kingdom of heaven? Right? What is that? What does that look like? What exactly is that? Then I
Yeah.
found out that it's a difference between the kingdom of heaven and heaven, right? It's an actual difference or whatever. When we read about it, Jesus is saying, yo, kingdom of heaven also is in you, and the kingdom of heaven is upon you. And I'm like, all right, so how is the kingdom of heaven in me and upon me? Right? Or is it at, different times? Is it upon me and then I take it in? Like what, like I'm asking questions, right? And guys, I'm literally in tears at this point. And I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging because I really want to operate the right way. I've done so much wrong stuff, and I'm probably going to be doing more wrong stuff and everything, in the future. Who knows? I'm not perfect, but the thing is that I'm fixed and focused on this one thing, which is I want to make sure that I understand exactly what that kingdom of heaven is. And that's thing that and if anybody doesn't know, it's something that's already in you, right? The kingdom of heaven is already in you, right? So seek that first, right? You're wondering why you're not operating your gift. Are you seeking the gift? Are you seeking the gift? See, listen, the kingdom of heaven is a gift at the end of the day. It's a gift. So, and it's a free gift, right? So in Matthew 13, there's a parable where he there was a man that found the kingdom of heaven. right? He found the treasure pretty much. He found his treasure. When he found the treasure, he buried the treasure back, went back to the land, sold all his belongings, and then went back and bought the land where the treasure was at, right? He went back and bought the land. So what did he find? He found the gift that God already gave him. He didn't need everything else. He didn't need those other belongings. We're so fixated on all this other stuff, right? All this other stuff that's just coming upon us and taking our attention away from the one thing that God truly, truly wants us to do. But we can't do that if we're not seeking it, right? We can't do that if we're not righteous. He ain't say be right. He said be righteous. You know what I'm saying? Be righteous. It's a difference in that. And I think that when we start operating in that gift, in that calling, things will start to change. The world will start to change. Yeah, your bank account may not explode necessarily. Maybe that's just not part of the will. Who knows? But are you operating your gift? Because really, the treasure is what you're gonna find at the end when you're finished and your work here is done here on earth. Yo, you're gonna find that thing. For me, it was when I was in a hospital with Christian. Listen, y'all know, y'all was there. I was dance all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm gonna do, this I'm about. I'm about giving back to the kids. And yeah, that was my thing. I'm still giving back to the kids. I'm still doing that. I coach my son's baseball team. You know what I'm saying? I'm still giving back to the kids in a certain way. But at the same time, there was a bigger mission. There was a bigger calling on my life where God was like, listen, I can't have you dancing for thousands of people because they're never going to hear what I have to say through you necessarily. I need you to speak, even though I know that you are a shy individual. Now, you can still dance, and you're going to dance for the entire world through the internet and things in that nature. You still going to dance, you still going to get down, but I don't need you in the industry doing that because guess what? Those people can't respond to you. They can't tell you the problems that are laid upon them, which I assigned you to. You know what I'm saying? So the question really becomes, what problems did God assign you to fix? Right? And therefore you may find your gift in that. You know what I'm saying? The floor is yours on that one, y'all.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, man. I think the key to it is paying attention to the gift that you have
Mm-hmm.
and not, you know, how do you say? I would say placing more value on the gift that God has given you to be able to do what it is that He's called you to do. Because I think
Mm,
what we do at times is we look at the things that we're able to do and we say, oh, well, it's not that important. I'm able, if you're a person who bakes very well, oh, well, I bake. So what does that mean?
mm,
Listen, that means that you might be the person who might be able to start something to feed the homeless or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because not
right,
everybody out there can cook, and yeah, the homeless are homeless, but they don't need food that tastes nasty. You know what I'm saying?
right,
They need
right,
somebody
right,
who can cook where they can still have a good meal. So
right,
that may be your
right.
gift, you know what I'm saying? And you got to use it that way. Or, you know what I'm saying? Maybe your gift is just reading. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the
Mm,
case, well, then maybe you need to go out there and read to kids that are in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Kids who parents can't come out and see them every single day because mom and
that's a
dad
good
got to
point.
work. You know what I'm
That's a good
saying?
point.
4, 5, 6 hours so that they can make the money that they need to make to be able to, what I'm saying, pay for the medical bills. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Let me ask you
You
this though,
know,
Nick. Let me ask you this real quick. Let me just
yeah.
switch it up just a little bit real quick. Not to stop you, but this just hit
Nah,
me.
good.
Right. So for the people that are on here right now, let's say somebody on here right now doesn't necessarily know what their gift is. Let's say somebody right now that's watching us, that's in the comments, that's in the chat right now, and they feel like they've been going in circles, right? And they feel like they haven't been operating in their gift necessarily. I know you are well versed in many things, but you have an extreme amount of focus when it comes to getting something done. What do you tell people, right now that may have the question on, I don't really know what my gift is.
Stop saying that you don't know what your gift is.
Mm,
Just stop doing that. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? You have what you have in front of you already.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? It's there. The issue
mm-hmm,
is you're not tapping into it. You're
mm-hmm,
questioning. You're looking for somebody else to validate what it is that is in you. You got to
mm.
stop. You got to stop doing that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? You can't look. I mean, you talked about Moses, right?
right, right,
God
right,
told Moses, "You are going to be the one that's going to free my people."
right.
Moses started talking about what he couldn't do. Oh well, God, I can't speak in front of God. God was like, I got you. I just
Mm,
told you what it is that you're going to do. So what
Yeah.
I need you to do is walk in that and get it done.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
if
That's
you
Mhm.
good.
know that God is with you, then the reality is whatever He's assigned you to, He didn't assign it to you for you to fail. That's not the kind
Yeah.
of God that we serve.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He
Yeah.
doesn't
Amen.
say, yo, you know what? I want you to go out there so that you can fail at what it is that I'm telling you to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so what you got to do is you got to look at, okay, what is it that God has given me? Because sometimes we devalue the things that are around us. We
Go
don't
Ooh.
ahead.
place value on what it is that's inside of us, what we have, what's available to us. Instead, it's like, well, that's not good enough. Well, this isn't good enough. Well, that isn't good enough. As opposed to walk in it, step into it.
Step into
Whatever
it.
it is, wherever you are, you can look around you and you can start being a blessing to nobody else but yourself
Mhm.
first.
Yeah.
Put
Let me
yourself
let me
first.
let me jump. Yeah, let me jump in. Let me jump in. So let me make it even more plainer for y'all. Okay. And shout out to my aunt Mildred that's watching and everything right now. Listen, you guys have to understand this. Okay. You have to remove some things out of your life.
Mm.
And we talk about it a lot all the time on this channel. Sometimes we are afraid to remove the hard stuff out of our life, right? We're afraid to move the hard stuff out of our life.
Mm.
And it's because we have an emotional attachment to these hard things that are supposed to be moved, and we don't want to move them.
Mm.
And because we don't want to move them, right? Then therefore we can't necessarily see the gift that we're truly supposed to be operating in because
Mm.
we're blocked by the thing that is holding us back, and we're allowing it to stay there because we don't want to do the dirty work of removing that thing, right? For
Yeah.
some people is an addiction. For some people it's a person, right? For some people it may be a certain job. For some people, it may be an environment, a community, a town that you live in, right? For whatever it is, you are not allowing yourself, right, to remove that thing so that you're free and clear mentally, spiritually, and emotionally from all distractions, right? I knew that. Now, listen, early in the cast, we talked about how this guy, said that he was going to check out until he saw a 20-second video. A 20-second video,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
not the
Yeah. Yeah.
this not the right. This not the first time that it happened.
Yeah.
This not the first time that happened. This happened, a couple of times. And
Yep.
my whole point is that I removed the dance I didn't remove dance out of my life. I removed the dance industry out of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Hey,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you with something strong for that, right? We have to discern between our gift and our purpose. I'm gonna give you a little something, right?
Go ahead, go
A
ahead.
gift, the gift that God still instills inside of us is something that is going to be everlasting, right? It's going to be something we're always working toward. Our purpose can be there can be a season for a purpose, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna use you as an example.
Yeah.
The dance industry served its purpose for that
Yes.
season, but that
Yes.
has brought you here. You
Right.
understand? So there was a purpose
It was a
for
long
your
season,
life
by the
at
way.
that time. It was a long
Right.
season,
Right.
right? We never know how long it's going to be, but that was the purpose for your life, a vehicle to get you here, right?
Yeah.
To get you to what the gift, to get you to find out the gift that God has placed inside of you, right?
Amen.
I'll talk on not being able to remove these things from our lives because I have a personal testimony, right? I
Mhm.
had went through a traumatic childhood, right? But it
Mhm.
pushed me because I didn't want that for myself or my future family as a kid, right? I
Right.
worked so hard to get everything, to work hard to get everything, whether it be getting through the university, whether it be, that degree, whether it be a good job, whether it be, all these things, right?
Yeah.
But what happened was those negative things were what motivated me most. And
Mm.
so those negative things, I held on to them real tight because I'm
Mm.
like, you know what? This is what's building the fire inside me, right?
Mm. Mm.
All the while, at 30 years old, I had to let that go. I had to
Mm.
let that go and find what new purpose, what new things that God had for me. Because it wasn't never the degree. Excuse me,
Mm.
wasn't never the degree.
Mm-hmm.
Those were vehicles. It wasn't never the great job and being on television and interviewing celebrities and traveling. And it wasn't never that. That was the vehicle. That was
Vehicle.
the purpose at the time
Yeah.
to find the gift that God
Mm.
has instilled inside of me.
And I
Mm.
think it's a great point that you bring up, that sometimes what we have to realize is we have to stop trying to not be something and
Right.
Mm.
focus more on being something,
Right.
Mm.
Go,
right?
go, go, go,
Because
go.
we run
Mm.
around and it's just kind of like, I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm not going to be like my dad. I'm not going to be like this. I'm not going to be this. I'm not going to be that. As opposed to, you know what? I'm going to be a great husband. I'm going to be
Amen.
a great father. I'm going to
Amen.
be a great mother. I'm going to be a great student. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, I'm not going to be the student that fails out. Instead, I'm going to be the student that does the best that I can, because I know that I want to take this further this way,
Go ahead.
or I
Go
want to
ahead.
be, the best friend that I can be, because I want to be able, instead of, well, I don't want people talking about me for X. You know what I'm saying? When
Right.
you wake up in
Right.
the morning, don't get dressed because you're just kind of like, well, I don't want people talking about me. No, wake up and get dressed because you're just like, yo, I want to look great for
Yeah.
myself, so that when
Right.
I
Yeah.
go out, what people see is they see the confidence that I have in me. I can then walk around and talk about who I represent. I represent God and what it is that He's done and made in me. So if He's made me to look good, if He's given me the ability to have these fly clothes and everything else, then guess what? I'm going to dress to my best so that I can look good, rather than, well, I just don't want people talking about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Because
Right.
then what you're doing at that point is you're constantly walking around looking for other people to validate what God has already told you is
Go ahead.
good to
Mm.
go. You know what
Go
I'm saying?
ahead.
If
Mm.
God has told you it's okay, you don't need
Come
somebody else
on.
coming around from the left or from the
Yo.
right. Because guess what? They may not be having your best interest at heart. They may be looking to try to figure out how they can tear you down. Yet you constantly
Yeah.
looking for them to big you up. If God told you good, walk in that.
Go
Come
ahead.
on now.
Chocolate's
Yo,
in the
I
chat.
just
Chocolate's in the chat. Chocolate's in the chat. Chocolate's in the chat. Let's go.
said,
Let's go.
yo,
He
yo,
preaching. He
yo, check it.
preaching.
I just told my man this the other day, right? He was on Facebook. He was on Facebook Live. He went on like a 3.5 minute rant going in, right? On how people need to respect and people need to be doing this and doing that, and how he been in the game for so long, da 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 da. Yo, I hit him up and I'm like, listen, man, you ain't gotta keep getting validation or wanting and seeking validation from these people. Do you know what you have done in this
Right,
industry? Do you know how far you have come? You've been in the game since 91.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So do you if you know that, then it's cool. Like, yo, no other man has to validate you. You already got the stamp of approval because you've been doing it this long. If not, then you wouldn't keep doing it. God would
right.
have been stopped you in your tracks a long time ago and would have been like, nah, yo, you're not doing this no more because I'm tired of looking at this because it's not what I called you to do in the first place. Right? We gotta stop sitting there thinking that that we need validation from other people just because they've been in the game or whatever industry for a long time. No, you don't. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Your story is not their story. It's completely different. We cannot sit here and allow other people's, testimonies and what they've accomplished and other accomplishments. Listen, it's cool to look at that stuff. It's cool to sit there and have that admiration and be like, dang, you know what? That's dope. But I don't need your validation for it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you ain't signing a check, you know what I'm saying, to do nothing as well either. But not even that. It's just a simple fact that we need to start seeking approval of the one who created us. You know what I'm saying? Because the one
Amen.
that created you is the one that created me. So why would I need validation from you at the end of the day? And that's just not to be cocky. I'm just saying, like, we gotta start looking at a different at it from a different standpoint, right? And I think it really brings up a really good point in the switch of it is, are you hunting for destiny?
Mm.
I was just about to say that. So listen,
Come on. Yeah, go ahead.
So listen. I was just about to go in on, Kenny, if you go back to where you were, right? The key
Right.
to it is you were asking the question, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? How can I be used? How can I be served, right? Or how can I serve? And I think when people sit back and they think about it, you want to talk about, are you able to see your gift? Well, where are you looking for your gift?
Mm.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
if you're looking for your gift in other people, that's not your gift.
Ooh.
That's not
Yeah,
your gift.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you can't look
yeah.
at other people for your gift. If you want to find your gift, The only person who can tell you where your gift is the one who has gifted you, which is
Right.
God. So if you
Right.
want to find your gift, if you
Yeah.
want to know
Right.
what your gift is, then what you got to do is you got to chase after the one who has given you the gift so that
Boom.
he can tell you what it is that he gave you. Stop asking
Right.
somebody else who don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Think about it. When the presents are under the tree, right? What do the kids say? Well, what's in here? What's in here? What's in here? They can ask each other all day. Your brother
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Your sister don't know. Guess who know?
Mm-hmm.
Either mom knows or dad knows if they the one that gave you the gift. So if you
Yeah.
want to know what's in there, guess what? You got to ask mom and dad. Because guess what?
Right.
When you with your brothers and your sisters, you like, well, can I open it up? Guess what they say? No. Why not? Because mom and dad ain't
Mm-hmm.
tell you that you can. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know, are you at the place where you can now use your gift? You got to ask God. Because guess what? You may not be able to see it because you may not be at the place where you're ready to use it. Because Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
what were you talking about? You had to go through many, many, many years to get you
Yeah.
to the point where guess what? You can go in front of people and you can tell them about all that you did in the dance industry, all that you had to do to start your business, all that you had to do to shut down your business, all that you had to do to take care of your son while he was. You had to build that though. That had to come over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had to go
Yeah.
through the marriage and the divorce and the fire and the house burning down. You had to get through all of that before you got to here now where you can now speak to people about it. 20 years ago, you could have tried to do public speaking, but what would you have been talking about?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
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 And
You know what
that's
I'm
and
saying?
that's my point, yo. That's my point. You could try to do it, but what's really the story behind it? Who you gonna be feeding at the end of the day? Right?
So
You gonna go
sometimes,
there with an
sometimes
empty
you got to
bucket.
be ready. Exactly. Sometimes you got to be ready to be used by God. So you got to say, all right, if I'm walking in this now, and this is where He has me, well, what is it that you're trying to show me? What is it that you're trying to teach me? Where is it that you want me to go? And walk
And,
in that. And then when He opens your eyes and He shows you, that's where you walk in. Stop looking around somewhere else. Stop saying you don't. Look at Him and say, all right, you gave me something, right?
Mm,
One powerful thing I heard recently from a preacher, right? He said, we are the greatness of what it is that God has given us to do,
mm,
and we are also the greatness of what He has not given us to do, because not
mm,
everything we are called to do.
mm-hmm,
right.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
I can't sing. God never called me to sing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And guess what?
That makes
I'm
two of
okay
us.
with that.
Right.
Right.
I'm, I'm okay with that. God didn't call me to dance the way He called Kenny to dance.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. We have to
Right.
be okay with what we're not called to do so that we can focus on what we are called to do. And then you can walk in your gift.
Yeah.
Right. But check this out, guy. Check this out, guy. To next point. There are people that think that they are called to do something and they know for a fact they ain't got the ability to do it.
Right. So I'm gonna say something to that, bro. Be prepared be prepared to wait and be patient on what the purpose that God has for you, right? Because there's a difference between feeding others milk and feeding others that manna. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying? You
mm,
can not be ready and think you're ready, and you trying to feed everybody, you trying to feed people and think you doing it, but you may be just at the level of feeding them that milk, giving them that milk,
mhm.
and not giving them that meat, right?
Come on
And
now.
so
Listen. Shh.
that meat comes from reading the word. That meat comes from the word of God.
That's right. That's right. Listen, we got to understand that sometimes there's milk for the baby,
Go
right?
ahead, go
There's
ahead,
milk for the baby, but there's meat. There's meat for adults. You know what I'm
go ahead.
saying? It's meat for adults, and we got to understand that sometimes you're just because you admire someone else's gift, don't mean that it's for you,
Right,
right? Just because you listen, yo, Denzel Washington, my favorite actor. I'm not an actor. You're not going to see me coming out here or whatever trying to act. Like this is not who I am. I've dabbled in it a couple times, but that's not the craft that I really want to do. Like that's just not me. Listen, Michael Jordan, my favorite basketball player. I'm not a baller like that. You know what I'm saying? But I love watching. We've got to be comfortable with the
yep,
things that we are not necessarily gifted at.
go
Doesn't mean
ahead,
that you can't do it.
go ahead,
Doesn't mean that you can't go out and pick up and do a pickup game. Doesn't mean that you can't act with your children or anything like that or be in a church play. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean that you can't do that stuff. What we're saying is that there's a difference between a hobby and a gift, right?
Mm. Meh, meh,
There's
meh,
a
meh.
there's a difference
Let's
between a
go.
hobby and a gift. You know what I'm
Talk to
saying?
him. Talk
And
to him.
some people don't recognize the difference. They think that the hobby is the gift. No, no,
Ooh.
no. The hobby is not the gift. I'm like, and this may ruffle somebody's feathers, but there's people out there that want to sing that can't sing. Right? Save that for the shower. You know what I mean? Save that for the shower. There's people out there that want to dance, but you can't dance. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't got it. Now, can you hold a two-step? All right, cool. But you're not going to be a pro at it. It's not saying that you can't dance
Right.
like regularly and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm
But
saying is when it comes to these steps, when it
yeah,
comes to these counts, when it comes
yeah,
to getting this choreo done, yeah, hey, this is another league that we're talking about.
yeah.
You got to recognize there's the NBA and there's the G League. You know what I'm saying? It's two totally different levels.
Differentiating between your gift. You got the gift and hobby. Yeah, you got to.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why also, if you really want to see how you can really try to get to the point where you recognize your gift,
Yep.
is you got to acknowledge somebody else's and be willing to praise them in theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
So
ooh,
so
ooh, ooh.
Go
so
get
here
them.
you are, right? You're
Right.
trying to say, okay, I'm trying to figure out what my gift is, right? But then are you hating on everybody else based on the gift that they have,
Uh-oh.
right?
Right.
Uh-oh.
Because guess what? To the point that you were just talking about, Kenny, every one of us has a different role to play
That's
in this
right.
thing called life, right?
That's right.
Because if you look at the structure of where it comes from, right, the Bible talks about the fact that we are one body, right,
Right.
That's right.
with many members, right? So
That's right.
the right hand can't try to do what the left hand is doing.
Come
Because
on,
Right.
guess
bro.
what? If the left hand is trying to do what the right hand is doing, then that's not the left hand, that's the right hand. And if that's the case, then what's the left hand doing? Right. So now
Mm,
when you're trying to pick up something, when you're trying to move, if you think about it, right, if you're going to ride your bike, you can't have both legs doing one thing. The left
mm,
leg needs to do something and the right leg needs to do something in order for you to
mm,
move forward.
Go
So
ahead.
mm.
you can't, if you're not the singer, guess what? You're the person that's cheering on the singer so
That's
that the
right.
singer can get to the level that they need to get to,
Come on
right?
now.
That's
Because
what we
the
doing.
singer may need you to help motivate them,
Go ahead.
encourage them, know that you're willing to support them, so that that singer can then go sing the praises of God, right? You may need to
Mhm.
tell that person who's a better cook than you that guess what? Yeah, you know what? You know how to cook, you know how to this. So now when somebody says to them, we need somebody to cook for X, that person just like, yeah, I can do it, right? Because while we're telling people don't look at other people to tell you what your gift is, we are still relational people. So we
That's
still
right.
benefit from the encouragement of others, you know?
Mm.
So if you want to see what your gift is, sometimes the best way to see your gift is to encourage others in their
Mhm.
gift and what they're doing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Here's the other part to it, right? Some people, when it comes to operating in that gift and they see the gift that they're supposed to operate in, they're so comfortable where they're at that they don't want to adapt to change,
Yep.
Mhm.
right? They don't
Yep.
want to adapt to the change. And I've noticed this. I actually read a stat the other day says for every 1 in 3 people, right? 1 in 3 people, if they had to change, they rather not.
Right.
Right? They rather not change if they don't have to. Every
Right.
1 in 3 people rather not change if they don't have to. That's 30. So you're talking about 34% of people in the world that rather not change. You talking about like what? We got 8 billion people in the world. So 76% of us want to change, 34% don't. But that 34% is really, really high. Think about that. Because you're talking about maybe 3 billion people, something like that, that don't really want to change in their life. And if you don't want to change, then maybe you're going to the grave pretty full instead of
Mm.
empty.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm. Talk.
sometimes when we think about that, like I don't know about y'all, but like I don't want to go to the grave full. I'm trying to empty myself out to the world. I'm trying to empty myself out and empty out all of my gift. To each and every person that um that comes across whoever I come across with, I'm trying to make sure that my gift is emptied out because I don't want to. I'm being poured into, but I want to make sure that I empty myself out. But basically saying, in other words, I'm trying to give you everything that I got before I leave this earth.
Yeah. Yes,
right?
sir.
And I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that in the way that God has given me in operating in that gift. You know what I'm saying? And my question to y'all is, why do y'all feel that people don't really want to change? Why do y'all feel that people are so comfortable in where they're at and don't want to go to another level?
I think that what we want to stay with what we know. Like
Mm,
comfortable is what we know. We don't want to be uncomfortable in a in a space of not knowing what comes next, right?
right.
What what things come, what's gonna come from being uncomfortable. I mean, I preach to my players, I preach to my students, get comfortable being uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because put yourself in a place where you're never complacent and never satisfied, right? You always want to grow, you always want to learn, you always want more, you always want to develop. And I mean, all those things bring purpose, right? Bring
Right.
finding what our purpose is. You like it says, pursue the kingdom of God, right? So
Right.
using the adjective pursue means you're in constant motion of pursuit, right?
Mm,
You're in constant pursuit of knowledge. You are in constant pursuit of that wisdom that God has.
mm.
You are in constant pursuit of what is next, right?
Right.
With no, with confident hope, right? With a surety that the future holds, your gift and your purpose and all that God has for you.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I think I would say that, what happens is people like to represent that they know,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So when you talk about change, change requires you now to not know and to
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
build your knowledge and your understanding.
Right.
And unfortunately, the truth is, some of us don't want to grow in our knowledge. Some of us
Right.
don't want to grow in our understanding. We don't want to understand something new or somebody else. We want to
Mm,
be able to say, I'm the one that has it all figured out. And so at this point, I'm the guru. I'm the man
mm,
on top. I'm the woman on top, as opposed to, yeah, if you get into a new craft, you get into a new area, you starting afresh. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? You move to a new state, a new city, you got to learn a whole bunch of new things. And some people just like, I'm not trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to go through that change. Doesn't matter
mm,
that it might be better for me. I'm not trying to go through that. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay right
mm,
here where I know everybody. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody knows my name and I know them, and I can, as opposed to,
mm,
I got to get out of this comfort zone because guess what? There's a whole new world out there for me that might be teaching me some things that I need to learn,
mm,
you know,
mm,
but people aren't interested in that, and so they'll tell you that they are, you know what I'm saying? They'll say, oh, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so dope. Oh, I wish I could, but won't actually take that step because it
yeah.
means that they're going to be in a space of not knowing, and
Mm,
people don't want to be in that space of not knowing.
right.
And
Right.
so if we learn that, guess what? Getting in that uncomfortable space of not knowing helps you to grow, builds who you are as an individual, and may show you just what truly your gift is. I mean, listen, I know a dude who recently told me he was working in a law office for 15 years as a
Mm,
lawyer, making lawyer money. You know what I'm saying? He's out here now helping people to change their roof. And he told
right.
me he's never felt more satisfied in his life,
Mm,
right? Because he gets to go into people's homes and actually make their lives better
right.
rather than being in a courtroom trying to figure out how to take people's lives.
Right. Wow. That's deep. See, that's deep
You
right
know what
there,
I'm saying?
man. That's
And
deep
so
right
he
there.
he he
Yeah.
had to change that, and he said he was very uncomfortable when he switched because it was just like he was making all of this money and doing all of this, but at the same token he was miserable. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? So he had
mm,
to be willing to change his career path. And in that, he's living a more fulfilled life. He's got less money.
mhm,
Times is hard. He was telling me that he was divorced. You know what I'm saying? He's got 4 kids that he's got to take care of. And his new wife that he just got married to, she got 2 kids. So now they got 6 kids and they got to figure out. But guess what? Happy. He's
mhm.
happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he feels like
Right.
now he's living in his calling of meeting with people and stuff like that. And guess what? He's a
Right.
believer. He and I
Right.
started talking. We exchanged
Right.
notes. And he was just like, "This is what I live for." He was like, "This
Right.
is it right here." He wasn't getting that as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
crazy.
think.
Hold,
I think.
hold
I
up.
think. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah. Go ahead, guy. Go ahead, guy.
Um,
And then we're gonna start answering questions in the comments.
Yeah,
Right.
because 55 ain't too late. So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We're gonna answer
Never
that.
too
Let's go.
late. Never too late.
Go ahead. Go
Let
ahead,
me
guys.
tell you, man. I think change. We're sometimes we're scared of change because we don't want to. We don't want to face the fact that we are flawed.
Yeah.
We don't want to face the fact that our current way could use some improvement. Right? That would
Mm.
mean we're flawed and we're going in the wrong direction. We're not going in the right direction. One of our viewers talked about trust and accountability, right? Trust and accountability comes from comes between the interaction between two, right? Someone trusts them or you trust them. Someone holds you accountable or you hold them accountable, right? I think that we are afraid to admit that we're flawed, but we're afraid for someone else to see our flaws,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Okay.
And that's where the trust and or the lack of trust that she talked about and the lack of holding each other accountable comes from, where we're afraid for others to see that we're going in the wrong direction, not doing the right thing, or just straight up flawed. I
Right.
know for myself there was so much that I would never share with anyone because I felt like a failure, felt
Mm.
like I was not doing the right thing for myself,
Right.
not for my family. And who wants to share that with testimony or share that with anyone, right? But Lord knows that He changed me. He
Amen.
grew me. He didn't just grow me mentally, physically, but He grew me spiritually to a comfortable place, a comfortability where I am willing to be open and honest about this is where I am, but this is where God wants me to be. And so these are the things necessary to get there, right? And so, do you are you ready to work? Are you
Amen.
ready to get
Yeah.
to that place and do those things that not just make you comfortable, but make you uncomfortable? Because God
Mm.
will put you in an uncomfortable place
Amen.
to grow you,
Amen.
right? For a
Amen.
and and
purpose.
and, and here's something that I'll say, just to the point that the person made. I don't know who it was, but the point that the person made about church. I'll say this to you: don't overemphasize church. Don't don't overemphasize church, because if you think about it, church is supposed to be a body of believers, right? Who can come together to do certain things, which is worship God, right? Everyone that comes to a church building doesn't have that same motive. So
Mhm.
what you want to do is you want to do what Jesus did, which is fill yourself with a circle of individuals, right? And I'm not talking about the 12. I'm talking about his smaller unit of 3
Go ahead.
who you can have around you, who can hold you accountable and you can hold them accountable to the point where you can be honest. Because if you're around individuals who you can't hold accountable and can't hold you accountable and y'all can't be honest, then you're not in the right community.
That's right.
That's just period.
Yeah.
And church is not the place to go get your being held accountable. And no, that's where you meet people. Church is a hospital. You go there to get healing. You go there to try to get restoration. That's not necessarily where you go. There may be individuals in the church. There may be a group that may come out of that church. But don't look at church and the building as in like, all right, if I go there, I should be able to open up and do all these things. Because guess what? God says the wheat and the tare grow together.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be dealing with individuals who are the tare and not the wheat. So you got to be careful looking at church and thinking that's where the answer is going to come from. So I just want to say that because I know that people look at church as just like church or bust. And it's just like, take a step back from that. Now, to the brother who's talking about being 55, listen,
Yeah.
my aunt got married at 62. Okay. She was in her 60s when she got married for the first time. So to
Post your
think that,
comment. Post your questions in the comments, y'all. We answering questions live right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so to ask the question whether or not 55 is too late, it's not too late. The question is, where is it that you're saying you want to go? And where you want to go, start focusing on that now to get where it is that you want to go.
Those
You know what I'm
things
saying?
necessary. Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because no matter at what age that you do it, whether you do it at 25, 35, 45, 55, or 65, if you set your focus on things, you can get where you're trying to go from where you are. Don't look back at if I would have done when I was 20. The truth is you didn't. But if you 55 right now, do what you need to do from 55 moving forward.
Right.
Hey,
Let me add to that real quick. Let me add to that. All right. Moses really didn't get started for real until he was what, 80?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? He was
Correct.
about 80 years old to
Yes.
really start walking it. So listen, you 55, let me tell you something. Like Moses got 25 years on you. You know what I'm saying? He got 25 years on you before he actually really started to operate in his gift. He ran for 40 years. He ran for 40 years, and then, at 80, God was like, "All right, you ready now?" You know what I'm saying? And then he started moving. So it is definitely not too late. It's definitely not too late at all. Listen, I'm 38 years old. And about 8 years ago, I started over and I hit a reset button, at 30 and went back home to my mom's house.
go ahead.
And I went back home to my mom's house because I said, listen, I gotta start over. I do need a reset. And I got people that have my back. Now, when you reset, this is important. I want you to get this. Scooter's World. I want you to get this, Scooter's World. Listen, first of all, I want you to create a priority list. You hitting this reset button? I need you to create a priority list. Okay. This is very, very important. Okay. So, Scooter's World, listen, I want you to create a priority list and I want you to use these 5 words I'm about to give you. Okay. I want you to use the word self. I want you to use the word family. I want you to use the word friends. I want you to use the word work. Okay. And I want you to use the word, you can put significant other or spouse, whoever it is that you with, right? And if you're not with nobody right now, that's okay. You can leave that out. But the other 4, right? When we talk about family, we talk about cousins, brothers, sister, maybe people that live in your house. When we talk about friends, we talk about people that's outside of that. Who are those people that got your back, right? So when we talk about work, obviously is whatever it is that you do for a living. But when we talk about self, that's the one. That's the important one. Oftentimes, people put their selves fourth or fifth on the list. Fourth or fifth on the list. When we're told when we get on that airplane to put your mask on first, right? Because you can't save yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't save other people if you can't even save yourself at the end of the day. Now, the
Right.
real question is that when you put yourself fourth or fifth on the list, all right, so what about those people that's in front of you? What happens if something happens to you? Can you trust that they're going to turn around and grab you? Well, you may be already fell by that time. You know what I'm saying? But if you're leading out in front, if you put yourself first, if something happens and you fall, then they're there to catch you because they're behind you. You know what I'm saying? They're behind you. They're with you. So is it too late? Absolutely not. But what
And,
the
and
first thing that you need to do is set up that priority list. Go ahead, Nick.
and realize that the years that have gone by are experience and wisdom for you to use in the years to come.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to say that again. The years that have gone by are experience and wisdom that you can apply for the years to come.
Mhm.
So don't live with regret about what has happened. Recognize it, acknowledge it, be honest about it. Okay. The 3 of us here, when we talk, that's something you're always going to hear from us. Be honest.
Yeah,
Don't lie
Yeah,
to yourself about how great you were, and don't lie to yourself about how horrible you were. Be honest.
right.
You had some good days, you had some bad days. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But at the end of the day, you are where you are. Now you recognize it and you are acknowledging that I've got to do something different. Go ahead and
Mm,
use all that has happened to help you drive in doing something different. But remember what we talked about. Don't talk about what you don't want to be. Take a look at where you want to be, to the point that Kenny was making. Look at yourself and say, who do I want to be? And
right.
then allow today, not tomorrow. If you're hearing us right now, allow today. I don't care if you got another hour before you lay your head to bed. Allow that hour to be the time that you say, this is when I start doing what it is that
Come
I'm
on,
going
bro.
to start
Come on.
walking into,
Come on.
because
Come
that's
on.
you taking care of yourself, so that now you can go to bed excited about tomorrow, because you know that you've already set yourself on the path today, tonight. You're not saying, well, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. If you know that you
Mm,
need to work out, do 10 push-ups before you go to bed. And I don't care if you do one push up every 5 minutes before you go to bed. Do your 10 push ups. Celebrate those 10 push ups that took you an hour and a half to do and then take you behind the bed.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Whatever it is, celebrate you and then walk in that.
Right.
Mm, mm.
Right.
Yo,
You
guys, answer this right. Answer this comment right here.
you know what? We talking a lot about focus, where our focus is, right? And Scooter's World says I spent a lot of time uh, taking care of others, and they get stronger and they leave, right? But what your focus needs to be on is they got stronger, not they
Mm,
left. You understand?
mm,
So your focus needs to be on the impact that you've
mm.
made on their life
Come on, guy.
while
Yeah,
they were there. You know,
yeah.
it's a season, right? And they left. So what's your job? Your job may be don't undervalue your role in
Right,
more than one person's life.
right.
So you
Right.
need to allow them to move forward and continue to impact the lives of others.
I love
I
it.
mean, I know I
And
get
recognize that you have the ability to help
ability,
others. And so now that you know that, take
right?
that to the point that Kenny was saying and start working on you because you
Okay.
have the tools.
Right,
That's where
right.
God
We
wants you
love
to
you too,
go.
Janelle.
That's like we were saying. That's where God wants you to go. That's where God wants you to do. You need to do the things to prepare yourself
Correct.
for what is necessary in God's, plan for your life.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
The
so so so
impact.
so
Plant that
so
seed.
yeah, the impact. Right.
Mm,
Right. So Scooter, my challenge to you is take this moment right now. Don't let this just be hypeness on YouTube and then after YouTube time is done, you know what I'm saying?
yep.
Nah. Take this moment right now when it's done, right? Go look at yourself in the mirror and commit to yourself. It ain't got to be nobody else. Nobody else
Right.
has to be there. Commit to yourself that you're going to do
Yeah.
what it is that you're going to do. And then Maribel's telling you that you got this, you got this. And understand that it's not people that
Yeah,
need to
we
know
got
you.
this.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not people that need to know you that got your back. Understand that there are
Right.
people out here who want to see you do good. So my commitment to you is that I don't know you, but I'm going to pray for you. But I need
That's
you
right.
to walk in that. I need you to walk
Yeah.
in that,
Amen.
knowing that you're looking at yourself, saying that you're going to do it. And the best that we can do is we can pray for you to get to that place.
Now check this out. Here is going to be the lesson of the day. I hope everybody got their pens out. You got your notebooks out. All right. And here's what we're gonna need y'all to do. We're gonna need y'all to share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. We're gonna need you to share this with everybody. All right. We got 3 minutes left in the show, and it's lesson time. All right. In case y'all haven't been jotting down, here is the real kicker. Okay. Some of y'all, when we talk about operating in our gift, right? We think that we're not operating our gift, and therefore we look at it as a failure. Okay. We look at it as we're losing, right? Let me tell y'all something. I'm about to give y'all an assignment. I'm about to give y'all a free exercise that I teach in a lot of my courses. Okay. And I actually have a new course and everything coming out called the Leadership Builder. And you guys may want to get up on that and everything as well too. It's going to be super awesome. Comes out May 15th. Check this out. Here's what y'all want to do. Right? This is going to blow your mind. It's so simple and so small. I'm about to show y'all how to develop a winning mindset. I'm about to show y'all how to develop a winning mentality. Y'all ready for this? If y'all ready for this, I need y'all to put in the comments, we ready. I need y'all to put in the comments that we ready, we ready, we ready, we ready, we ready. Let me sound the horn. Let me sound the horn and everything real quick on them. Let me sound the horn real quick on them. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Are we ready? We
You
ready? All
ready?
right.
Let's
Ready. Here we
go.
go. Check it out. Check it out. I want y'all. I'm a big sports fanatic, right? I love basketball. I love football. I coach my son's baseball team. And in each sport, they have what we call the standings. They have the winning column and the losing column. Okay. Here's what I want y'all to do every night for the next 30 days. Just 30 days. 30 days. That's it. Just 30 days. I want y'all to find out what your winning percentage is for the month. And here's how you're going to do it. Every night on your calendar or in your notebook, I want you to write down on a piece of paper Slice it down the middle, okay? Your wins and your losses. How many wins did you get for the day? How many losses did you get for the day? When I talk about wins, I'm talking about, hey, I got God's breath in my lungs. I woke up this morning.
Woke up.
Hey, I got to work on time. Hey, I got my kids to school on time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? I was productive, at work today. Hey, you know what? I helped a homeless person and everything today. I did something that was productive in the house. I got dinner done on time. I did the yard work. All these wins that you're capable and able to actually do the things that you get done, right? Then on the other side, I need you to be real and I need you to write them losses. Somebody cut you off and you cursed them out and you lost your cool, right? You done lost your cool and everything. That's not the way that you wanted to operate. Okay. Somebody got smart with you over the phone. Maybe you had somebody, so you booking something, and the person on the other line, they just ticked you off, right? Here's what normally happens. Or maybe you had an argument and everything with your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. What happens is we oftentimes highlight that one loss over these 5 wins, right?
Talk to him.
And therefore we're not operating in our gift, right? We're operating in anger. Okay, we're operating in anger, not our gift. Okay, so what I need you to do, I need you to look at all these small wins that you get and say, hey, wait a minute, this is 5-1, right? This is 5-1. So if you get 5 wins in a day versus that one loss, okay, now you 5-1 for the day. Now what about the next day? You know what I'm saying? Now you're already ahead of the game. You already like 4 games above 500, right? So now you're looking at, okay, I just accumulate another 5 wins and now I got 2 losses. Okay, now I'm 10-3, right? So what you want to do is you want to write them down every single day for 30 days. And then at the end of the month, you're going to calculate every win that you had in that entire month. And then you're on the other side, you're going to calculate every loss that you had in that entire month. And here's what you do. You sit there and you look at it and you're like, you know what? Guy Nick, I'm 155 and 33 for the month. That is a winning percentage. That is a winning mindset. That is a winning mentality. That means you are a winner, right? So when you do this exercise, what you're doing psychologically, in my personal opinion, I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be a therapist, so therapists don't be coming at my neck, okay? But this has worked for me, and what has worked for my clients is that we're psychologically putting in this element of, hey, I'm developing this winning mentality. I'm looking at all my wins. Like I'm seeing the wins because I'm writing them down and I'm putting them on paper. It's not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing now. Like I'm physically winning. Okay. When you do that, right, you start to feel good. You start to talk good. You start to look good. You start to dress good. You start to act good. You start to do good. And that then pours into other people, right? You're winning. Your people want to be around winners at the end of the day.
Amen.
People want to be around winners. I want to be around winners. I want to be around people that win. Okay. So when we develop this mentality, watch your life really start to take shape and start to change in a way of more positivity and less negativity.
And,
Hey,
and I
man.
and I'll jump in on this, and then I'm gonna be done.
Let's
If
go.
you notice that within the first 3 to 5 days you have more losses than wins, then you had better start to turn that around so that by the time you get to day 10, you have more wins than losses. That's
Come on
on you.
now.
That's
Yeah,
on you.
yeah,
You can't
yeah,
blame
yeah,
anybody else. If you
yeah.
start to count your losses and your wins and you realize that you have more losses than wins, then it's on you to make the decision to start doing some things so that you have more wins than losses. You
Hey,
can't start blaming your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle, your auntie, your
Yep.
blah, blah. You can't do that. At that point, that's on you because you're
It's on you.
choosing to
yeah.
continue to lose rather than win. So
Hold,
understand that
Mhm.
this exercise works both ways. Either you already winning and you're just not acknowledging it, or you're losing and you can start winning if you choose to do so.
right.
Right.
Let me tell you, let me add to it. When we say when
Okay.
we
Last
change the
word,
mind,
guy.
when we change the mind, we change the game, right?
That's right.
Listen to that first part. When we change the mind, that we don't start out with a changed mind. It takes work, right? It takes work. Put that in the chat. It takes work. Are you ready to
Takes
work,
work.
right?
Let's go.
So not only does that don't not only do we have to develop a winning mindset, right? But we have to develop our focus, right? Don't focus on the loss. It helps us regulate our mind psychologically to focus on the wins,
Right.
right?
Right.
Focus on your wins. Focus
Right.
on what things that God has placed in your life that has allowed you to be still breathing, still here, still giving. You know, we talk about, oh, I've given all this to other people, but God has allowed you to give. Focus, focus, build a mentality of focusing on the right things. Focus on all that God has given you
Right.
versus what God takes away.
Amen. Amen. Listen, y'all, with that being said, I think y'all been fed. All right. I think that's going to be my new saying. With that being said, I think y'all been fed. All right. Y'all been fed tonight. Let us know in the comments if you guys have been fed. Let us know if this is provided some value and everything for your life, for your journey, in your walk. Also make sure you guys go ahead and click out of the chat and go ahead and click a like button and everything for us. Give us a thumbs up. This drives the algorithm up, and then you get to see more videos kind of like this more and more. We are here every single week, every Thursday, 8:30, between 8:30 8:40, but really we shoot for 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, this is the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show, everybody. Now listen, really quick announcements. If you guys don't see right here on the screen, go ahead. If this provided some value for you, go ahead and give us a donation so that we can elevate this channel and elevate this podcast. Our goal right now, guys, is to basically be in studio with each other and have the equipment to do that. Right? That only happens if we have resources. That only happens if we're able to, fund this channel so that we can continue to provide more and more goodness for you guys. Okay. Bring on more guests, bring on more knowledgeable people that are going to help you get to your goals so that you guys can get to the next level. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier and I said, listen, I think the difference between being successful and being a failure is information. You know what I'm saying? Information. And the more information that we get, the more information that we got, the more successful that we can actually be in our lives and provide for the people that are closest to us. Okay. So go ahead and drop us a donation right there at Kenny Clutch Speaks. It's a little K, not a big K. Kenny Clutch Speaks over there on Cash App. Or you can go ahead and click somewhere in the bio. There is another donation tab and everything as well there too. So you can go ahead and click there. Listen, y'all. We hope that you guys love this show. Love what it is that we did here, because we love giving it to you. We also have some really, really good products and everything for you. If you guys go, pinned in the comments is the Kenneth Allen Thomas store. Go ahead and grab the ebook. The ebook right now is flourishing. Over 300 downloads just in the last week for the ebook, How to Lead Through a Storm. It's only $10. Go ahead and grab it. It's also has some tips and tools and a strategy in there for you as well too that talks about your well-being, so you guys can go ahead and elevate that as well. All right. That being said, y'all already know what it is. When we change the mind, we change the game.
Let's go.
Change
Let's
the
go.
game.
Shout out to Scooter's World. Shout out to Tamia. Shout out to Comida. Let's go. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See
Let's
y'all.
go. Let's do some more shout outs and everything. Well, shout out to my wife. Shout out to
Word up. Let's go,
Janelle. Josie was in here. Maribel, shout out to Maribel as well too.
To Maribel, she tried to help us on the chat line. You know what I'm saying? She's our chat promoter. Let's go.
Heavy. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Shout out to Victoria. I think she was watching earlier. And yeah, man, I love you guys. We thank you guys so much. Like we always say, when we change the mind, we change the game. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow worry about itself, and today is all we have. And if today is all we have, you make sure you live today the best way that you know how. We see y'all on the flip side. We will talk to y'all later. One love. Peace.
We living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing. Oh no. Had some obstacles I overcame. Oh yeah. You don't have to ever be the same. Oh Lord. 'Cause when we change the mind, we change the